When you woke up this morning, what was the very first thing you did? Did you reach over to silence an alarm on your phone? Maybe you checked your messages, or even ordered a coffee for delivery before you left bed. We rarely think about it, but our smartphones run our daily routines, and that happens entirely through mobile applications, software specifically designed to make our lives a little easier by solving everyday problems. As you can see, we rely on a massive variety of these tools. We use lifestyle apps to track our fitness, social media apps to stay connected, utilities like calculators, games to pass the time, and productivity tools to manage our work. Imagine trying to deposit a check, navigate traffic in a new city, or share a photo with a relative overseas without these specific applications. Those tasks would take hours instead of seconds. To understand exactly how these digital tools manage to embed themselves into every part of our routines, we need to look under the hood. We have to understand what they are and the hardware they live on. Well, this brings us to mobile development. In simple terms, this is the entire process of building software applications designed specifically to run on mobile hardware. Take a look at this graphic showing the devices we're talking about. Mobile hardware includes things like tablets, wearable devices like smartwatches, and of course, smartphones. Because smartphones are overwhelmingly the most common and relevant devices in our pockets, developers spend the vast majority of their time building tools specifically for them. We will be focusing entirely on smartphones here too. But before a developer can write a single line of code for a new smartphone app, they have to make a choice. They have to decide which of the two major digital environments they want to build for. If you look at the smartphone market, it is effectively split between two giant platforms, Apple and Android. This slide breaks down the differences. Apple's iOS, introduced in 2007, is a closed system exclusive to Apple products, using the App Store. Android, released in 2008, is an open system running on various devices, offering more customization and using the Google Play Store. Choosing between Apple's exclusive system and Android's open system is mandatory because that choice determines the exact coding languages and tools the developer will have to use. Once the platform is chosen, the actual creation of an app follows a highly structured 6-step blueprint. Let's walk through it. This graphic outlines the very first phase, strategy. Before touching a keyboard, a developer has to lock down the core idea, figure out who the target audience is, research competing apps, and confirm their platform. Moving to the next slide, we hit step 2, analysis and planning. Here, developers list out every single function the app will need to perform. They also establish the programming skills required, like Kotlin for Android or Swift for iOS. This is also where they pick their IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. You can think of an IDE as a digital workbench. It's the specific software program where the developer will actually write, edit, and test their code. It is tempting to skip straight to the fun part, but rushing these first two planning steps usually results in an app that fails to actually solve the user's problem. This slide visualizes step 3, which is user interface and UX design. This phase is all about making the app intuitive. Developers draw up wireframes, which are essentially blueprints of the screens, and build visual mock-ups using standard fonts, color schemes, and logos. This illustration brings us to step 4, app development. This is the moment the developer sits down at their computer, opens up their IDE workbench, and starts writing the actual code. During this phase, the code has to perfectly map to the visual mockups designed in step 3, while successfully executing all the required functions outlined back in step 2. By the end of this step, you technically have a working application, but releasing it right now to the public would be a dangerous mistake. Here in this graphic, we see step 5, testing. Developers perform rigorous quality assurance to make sure the app won't crash. They verify that it is stable, that the user data is secure, and that all those buttons and menus are actually easy to navigate. And finally, this illustration represents step 6, deployment and support. The app is officially launched on the App Store or Google Play Store, ready for commercial use by the public. But the job doesn't end on launch day. Developers monitor user engagement through analytics to see how people are using the app, and they continuously send out updates to fix bugs and improve performance. So taking a raw idea and turning it into a functioning tool requires strategy, planning, design, development, testing, and deployment. It is a strict, tedious pipeline. But that complex behind-the-scenes work is exactly what enables the convenience of the modern world. Every time you tap a screen to order a meal or check your bank balance, you are benefiting from this 6-step journey.